Let me know when I'm hot. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome to the final round of the Almeida Academy Racing League. And today we're going to be over here in the one and only Summit Point Raceway. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today, we're going to have Reese Gardner. And not only that, we've got a three-man show today, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Campbell making a little bit of a debut here on his Pit Road Productions broadcasting production roles. Certainly my sympathies to him on that avenue, but it's going to be a absolute belt of a race. Certainly I did have the fortune of being able to do some laps with these guys during the week. That was with Sammy Hendricks and where's his name here, Matt Larkin as well. I got to hang out with those guys. Incredible pace from them. But let's take a quick look here at the points we've got and see just how tight it is going into this final round.
Yeah, absolutely, Zippy. This is going to be a fantastic final round of this season. Mahid Rahman on top, with Andrew Moran for Team Green in second. You have Yacint in third place. Fernando Afonso, he's been setting those timing screens alight. Halliburton, of course, one of our coaches who races through the field every single round, putting himself fifth in the standings so far. It's looking for the moment like the battle is really for that second, third, fourth sort of area between Moran, Yacint, and Afonso. Could be plenty of changes coming through this final round, depending on how the race goes.
Oh, absolutely. And I got to say as well, we got the team championship as well. Let's take a quick look at that. And right now, actually, it's surprisingly close between the blues and the yellows. If I do a very quick bit of Zippy map, that is, damn it, 99 points in the difference. And I got good math. Yeah. Look at that. Damn. All right. This is going to be a good day, gents. 99 points in the difference. So really that with so many different drivers at play, that really could be quite a big sway, especially the blue team in the top split. Quite potent, it seems. Quite a popular team. But if you head a little bit further down as well, quite a close battle. Not as close, but between the orange and the green team there. Certainly we've seen green have an incredible finish. But you got to wonder, the gold team currently absent from that. So basically being Team Halliburton for the most part, with the occasional appearance of Brian Lockwood and Connor Bell. But actually as well, very close with seventh place right now. The white team and the black team, just about 31 points in it, ladies and gentlemen, with that very quick zippy math. But we're going to try and get a little bit of an onboard shot here, see if we can get maybe a little bit of a walk around lap here, as we got a couple of minutes left to go here in qualifying. As you can see there, one of the guys, I believe that is Matt Larkin there, taking a little bit of a detour. But we're going to go on board. Which driver do we have there? A little bit of a slide. That is the number 10 car. My apologies. Of Anthony Lanassa. Perfect, ladies and gentlemen. You can see there, fourth gear, and he's using all of the track he possibly can. And it's an absolutely beautiful long straight here. Certainly, after the race, you can definitely get some wicked airtime off that grassy verge to the right. But as you go down fifth gear, and he's going to brake around the 3 cone marker. Actually, a bit later here. Very brave on the brakes, obviously faster than me. Drops it down into third. Quite high gear, actually. I'm maybe, again, it could be a skill issue on my part. Carrying as much momentum as he possibly can as he's heading down this short little section here, which I think, honestly, this is going to be the biggest place we're going to see the sand getting kicked up. Fourth gear through here, dips a little wheel in there and unsettles the car a little bit. And in typical Pit Road Productions fashion, aborts the lap. Reese, your turn.
Yep. All right, here we go then, coming through the final corner, the number 1 car of Andrew Moran, currently second in qualifying, and I would expect him to be using third gear in the first turn as well. There's plenty of low-down torque that this BMW M2 produces, just snicking up into 6th gear there and then braking as late as you dare, down to third. Yep, he is staying in it all the way through the first corner, and you see how much torque is produced low down there. The rear end kicks out, and it easily overwhelms those not as grippy as you think tires on this car. But you're right about this corner coming up. Gravel trap on the exit. There's going to be a lot of dust kicked up here through the race, and the drivers are going to have to be very careful of gravel being put onto the racetrack there. Could affect your grip. This is going to be one of the prime overtaking opportunities on the lap if you can get it right into this double hairpin section. And staying in third gear through here is Moran. He has to try and find a 1/10 of a second to put himself on provisional pole with 7 minutes to go in qualifying, and if you can hold it flat out as much as you can through this S's section, you're halfway there.
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest thing as well, I actually getting to test drive this. I'm thinking, you know what, I'm a competent driver, you know, I'm decent. And honestly, it is such a challenge driving this car. Certainly, you've got to be very respectful. If you go in too hot, it will punish you, as we've seen one of the red team cars currently there off in the sand. But absolutely fantastic lap there from Anthony Lanassa. Can he improve on that? We'll have to see. Currently, he's in P1 with a 116.269. That last lap, sadly, not going to do it a 118, so definitely off the pace. But right now, Andrew Moran just 0.07 of a second behind him in P2.
Yeah, Matt Larkin here in the 111 fourth place. He's just come under a bit of threat from David Kent, who elevated himself from 10th to 5th just a couple of moments ago. Some good stuff there from Kent. 116.6. Well, it looks like just under a 10th of a second covering 4th, 5th, and 6th places. So this is going to be a very competitive final round of the championship. A lot on the line, of course. Championship points are given in the races for every lap you can hold back a coach racing. Kane Halliburton and Brian Lockwood are in there at the moment, and they will be starting at the back of the grid. There's Lockwood there at the moment, finding his way out of turn 1. It's all going to be about defense for the students of the Almeida Racing Academy competing in this. The coaches can reward you championship points if you play your cards right.
Absolutely. And I got to give a huge shout out actually to the 088 car of Mike Sargent, because out of everybody we've seen here in this top split of the Almeida Academy, this man has been the most proficient at putting his elbows out when it comes to the coaches. Certainly, you've seen Kane Halliburton had to work incredibly hard to try and get past him. I think Brian Lockwood had to fight with him as well. Charlotte Roval, absolutely incredible race. I'm still remembering, was it 2, 3 wide, 4 wide when he went down turn 1? Absolutely incredible. Actually, Rob, you was there for that one. Can you remember how many people we saw going around that one?
Honestly, I can't remember, Zippy. My Zippy memory is failing me at the moment.
Well, that's honestly, that's a very, very fair point. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a pleasure of 2.5 commentators here. You guys can work out which one is the half, and I've got a feeling it's not Rob, ladies and gentlemen. It could indeed be the Zippy himself, but that sounds so arrogant, actually, saying the Zippy.
The Zippy,
I'm not even,
yeah, right.
The Zippy. The Zippy. Well, I used to be Sir. I used to be Sir Zippy, ladies and gentlemen. But I've got to say, Leon Bentvelsen yet again winning the cheerleading section. Actually, that used to be held by Fernando Afonso. He used to absolutely drive the cheering section crazy. But certainly, Leon Bentvelsen did not have the best of luck last round. Actually, he ate it pretty hard, to be put it bluntly. But right now, I can see that we got Heather cheering him on. We got Flo cheering him on. Aurum cheering him on. Absolutely insane. We got Apollo. Oh my gosh, I can't say that. Apollonia. My apologies there. Thank you for the subscription as well. Cheering on Team Blue as well. Jury cheering on Leon. Musical lyrics cheering on Leon. Like, I gotta say, Leon, like, maybe we need to get you on the marketing department at this point, because it is a very busy chat, and that is exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, seems to be a family affair as well. Awesome to see all that support out there for Leon. Up the top, it looks like Andrew Moran has beaten Anthony Lanassa to that provisional pole, and it's only 11,000th of a second in it. Just goes to show it's going to be a massive battle for the win between those two. That is, if they can hold on to it through the 2 races here tonight. We will have 2 20-minute races taking place here tonight. And, well, Summit Point is a short and sharp track. It's one that every single driver will know. You have to drive this track in the Rookie Series on iRacing, so this is one of the first tracks that we all drove. Can Anthony Lanassa use all of that experience and get provisional pole back? Well, not by running off the circuit at the final corner.
Definitely not the preferred line through there, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a little bit alternative, but I got a feeling we're going to be seeing this corner. They're just coming up there. That's Fernando Afonso in the foreground, and I recognize him purely because he's the only purple car on the track. But certainly I think that's going to be a hot spot. But let's take a quick peek at the schedule, see where we've been and where we're going. So we started at Winton before we headed over to Lebanon. A couple of zippy, unfamiliar tracks there with Okayama. for round 3. Charlotte, certainly an absolute pleasure there for round 4. Then Laguna Seca, my dear, apologies for that one. We were unable to attend that one. I had a little bit of a dental emergency on that one, for which I'm still suffering in some ways, for round 5, with round 6 taking us to Summit Point Raceway. And the race format, ladies and gentlemen, if we get it back here. So these guys had, I think they extended actually, the practice got to be a bit longer, but a 15-minute open qualifying, with race 1 being the 20 minutes, a 5-minute warm-up between, and a 20 minutes for race 2, with the top 10 being inverted. As Reese was saying, there is, I believe, one fast repair available now and a fixed setup as well. Certainly a little bit more forgiveness, but they have just about a minute and a half left of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly going to be a absolute belter of a show here at Summit Point Raceway.
And don't forget, this is a heat session, so that means there's a hard cut to the end of qualifying. Usually in an open session with a single race, you can finish your lap as long as you start it before the time hits 0. But the moment the clock ends here in qualifying, everyone's going to be booted right off the track. So you got to make sure that you start your final lap with at least a minute and 20 remaining in the session if you want to get that down. We'll keep our eyes peeled on Zoltan Zomotor here in the number 60 car. Zoltan down in lucky 13th position right now, and he needs to find a 10th of a second to get himself back past Jan Jančík, potentially Fernando Afonso as well. It's very difficult to find a 10th around Summit Point. It's quite a difficult circuit, deceptively so. Through the final corner he comes, out across the curb. You can use all of that tarmac runoff there just outside the curb. And the start-finish line is that line across the track right there. So Zomotor across the line, a 119.6 on that one. Not an improvement at all. So it looks like he's going to have to...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely not the lap he was looking for, but right now we've got the number 6 car of Sammy Hendricks. He's lucky enough to have me practicing with him, and by say that, I mean those guys just pretty much drove away. I didn't quite have the pace of Marshall there. I gotta be honest, I don't think I'd want to be stood there at that point, but that section they've just gone through, I do find there, maybe Reese or even Rob can expand on that a little bit. Certainly, if you don't quite get the preferred line through there, it can be absolutely catastrophic on your lap time. So we're going to save that for a rainy day, ladies and gentlemen, as qualifying has indeed come to an end. Beautiful scenic shots here of Summit Point Raceway, and certainly it's on one of the tracks on my bucket list of places to visit, actually. And if I did head out that way, certainly one of the people I'd want to meet probably be Jim Brewster, actually, from the Weekend Warriors. I'd certainly, I'd love to meet him. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the grid with Andrew Moran being on the top spot. Anthony Lanassa just, let me see here, 100th behind, or 11,000th behind him in second, with Sammy Hendricks taking third, Matt Larkin in fourth, David Kent, very good qualifying for him today, in fifth, with Mike Sargent in sixth, Ivo Serafimov in seventh, with Leon Bentbelsen in eighth, Abdul Mahmoud in ninth, with Kevin Adrian in 10th. As we have a look at
Fernando Afonso in 11th, Jan Jančík in 12th. And then we're going to pick up Zoltan Zomotar in 13th, Zippy, Valdis Vestin Chivas. Oh man, I apologize to him, I brutalized that. In 14th, Urs Muller in 15th, Kane Halliburton going to start at the back with Brian Lockwood.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the coaches again starting at the back. Definitely a little bit of a smaller field today. So, guys, where have you all been? You've been absolutely fantastic all season. Absolutely, you should be here for the final event. And you can see here, beautiful procession. I got to say, a huge shout out to Mikey Roy again. He's the guy who made the paints for the Almeida Academy. And I got to say, absolutely fantastic job. I love the fact we've got all sorts of different color chromes and stuff like that. Myself, the green would be my personal favorite, just because, you know, British racing green. But absolutely fantastic work by him. But certainly it's going to be a fun 20-minute race. And two of them, ladies and gentlemen, not 3 races like I managed to get stuck in my mind the other day. But I understand, Reese, are you back there, sir?
Yes, hopefully I should be. Not sure what happened there. Apparently all of my USB devices decided to reset as soon as the session ticked over. Sorry about that, but we'll briefly be getting this race going. Short formation lap here at Summit Point. They only have to negotiate the final corner, and then they'll be racing right away. So Andrew Moran versus Anthony Lanassa coming off the front row here. This is going to be a massive start.
Oh, absolutely. And I got a feeling it's going to be spicy. Certainly these cars, they feel a lot, like you can really feel the weight in them, and certainly be great as a driver car. Very intuitive, but certainly if you oversend it, it is very quick to punish you. Certainly I don't know the best way to describe it. Almost kind of vague, perhaps. But certainly you have to practice and you have to get it in tune as they're getting ready for the green flag.
And the green flag flies, and we are away. Already some fanning out further back there from the Team Orange car. I think that might have been Zomator. But on the way down to the first corner we come, and Andrew Moran has the inside on Anthony Lanassa, but Anthony is right late on the brakes. Moran does get the inside line and a slightly better punch out of the corner. Sammy Hendricks holding back Matt Larkin for the third spot in the running order. Still side by side between the leaders as they come into the second corner here. This is fantastic racing already, but it looks like we have a car off. I saw someone hitting the end of the tyre barrier there, and the Team Purple car, Fernando Alfonso, is off too. Looks like it was Jan Jančić that found the end of the tyre barrier.
Certainly not the best of luck there for Jan Jančić in the number 45 machine. And I've seen him on a good day. And when he's on a good day, honestly, absolutely incredible pace. Certainly a pleasure to race with, but certainly just not have the best of luck recently. But right now we're on board with number 10 car, Anthony Lanassa. He was hot in qualifying, and right now he's been able to not only use that to start high up in on row 1, but he's managed to slingshot himself into P1 right now. But it's only early doors right now. We're not even finishing the first lap as we go around the final turn for the first time. And we're going to see here just how potent the draft is. You can already see here there's two packs emerging almost. A little bit of a gap there from, I'd say about P7 back. Leon Bentvelsen holding onto the back of the lead pack.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed from Lanassa on the first lap was he was rotating that car. He was keeping the slide going out of the corners. And that's how you got to drive this BMW M2. Understeers like a cruise ship, so you need to be very careful to get that grip going on the front end and let the rear end sort of drift free a little bit if you want to be fast in this thing. And Lanassa is doing that perfectly right now. Moran was harassing him on lap 1, but it looks like he's already starting to lose out. Come under pressure from Hendricks and Larkin.
Well, certainly it's going to be an absolutely belter of a battle, but I do wonder as well, we're on board with Sammy Hendricks. Can he work together with Matt Larkin? Certainly these guys, they were practicing together. They're on the same team as well, Team Blue, that is. And I do wonder, can we maybe get a little bit of team tactics here to potentially not just secure a third and fourth place, but maybe slingshot themselves up onto the podium? Certainly, we had the pleasure of watching that last night, actually, in the F1200 Sim to Reality series there. Canadian F1200 series, and an absolute belter of an event that was. But right now we're keeping an eye on Mike Sargent here, who's looking to try and make a move on David Kent.
Yep, this is the issue here for David Kent. He's left the inside wide open. Leon Bentvelsen also trying to get amongst it here on the back of Mike Sargent. Has to pick a line, and he chooses where there's more space in front of him, and that will force Sargent defensive. Could there be an over-under here from Leon Bentvelsen? Not quite enough momentum to make it work there. So it was almost a close battle through the first turn, but they're going to stay single file on the way through this second corner here. But a lot of gravel usage from Mike Sargent. I think he's feeling some pressure here.
Well, for a second there, I thought he was going to want BMW to start making a pickup truck. He was gathering enough sand to make a small rockery, ladies and gentlemen, maybe a little bit of a beach in the back garden, but thankfully able to keep that car under control. The number 88 Aziz in the hot pursuit of David Kent in Team Yellow's car there in the number 16. Leon Bentvelsen right behind him. You can already see as well, Kane Halliburton and Brian Lockwood, both of them absolutely sneaking through the field, up 8 positions apiece.
Oh, did you see that? A little bit of a slide from David Kent there. A big snap coming out of the fast corners. And Sargent takes advantage passing into the final turn. Bentvelsen might follow him through.
Well, I've got a feeling he's certainly got a bit of a run, but be aware there is coaches behind. And look at that here. Sargent very aware of the fact. And we know that this man has got no issues putting his elbows out. As yeah, look, they are absolutely squeezing the coach there. I don't know if I'd want to do that, but you know what? I'd do it anyway.
Oh, man. Kane Halliburton putting his car in the right spot there, puts David Kent behind him, but wasn't able to get the move done on Bentvelsen. That's certainly not an ideal situation to be in, whether you're a coach or a student. And I think, you know, backing out of one position while benefiting from the other is exactly the right move to make there. But now, Kane Halliburton looking on Leon Bentvelsen here. Could be a passing opportunity down here at the hairpin, but Bentvelsen is putting his car in the right spot now, staying to the inside, carries more momentum through that fast right-hander and allows him to keep the position through the double hairpins. But he's wide.
Well, it looks like Halliburton is going to absolutely capitalize on that opportunity, taking as much curve as he possibly can. But honestly, going down that start-finish straight, it felt like the students had basically became bouncers of the league at that point and was like, sorry, Kane, you shall not pass. Maybe a little bit of Gandalf in there as well. Are we doing movie quotes today, ladies and gentlemen? We saved that for WDCR, but definitely a bit of a good laugh as I can hear our director chuckling in the background there. He was present for that one. But right now, Leon Bentvel's in the crowd favorite, ladies and gentlemen, in hot pursuit of the number 9 car, Kane Halliburton.
Indeed. Very nice battle as we flick our attention back to the lead of the race. Saw a bit of a defense from Anthony Lanassa into the first turn there and a slight flash of the lights from Andrew Moran. So it's looking to me like there's going to be some kind of fight forming here. I mean, it has been a fight the whole way through, but I think Moran might be trying to mount an attack here. He's just got to make sure that he unsettles Lanassa, but so far that's proving easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely. And does it look like Matt Larkin has dropped off the back of that car a little bit there of Sammy Hendricks? Certainly, it'd be good to see the teammates if they could stay together, work together. It's opened up to about 0.8 of a second. Mike Sargent about 2.5 seconds behind them. You can see him there fighting Kane Halliburton. Still, he's doing a good job, definitely living up to his reputation at this point. The Beaver Block car has indeed built a dam when it comes to letting coaches pass him. Certainly, very, very keen to get some bonus points. And not only that, you know, who doesn't like to try and stick it to a higher I-rating driver? But absolutely phenomenal drive right now from Mike Sargent.
Yeah, it's doing very well at the moment to hold on to that position in the top 5. Halliburton, though, maximizes the exit of the final turn and immediately flicks to the inside line for turn 1. And he's going to get a nose in here. Bentvel's in the slipstream. He could take advantage too, but once again, Leon switches to the racing line there. He knows that these guys have to work it out amongst themselves, and then he can find a way through, but gets squeezed out of it.
I thought that was going to end in chaos. Thankfully, actually, we've not seen any of the Halliburton front end modifications yet for this race. Certainly, the open concept front bumper has not yet made an appearance here at the Almeida Academy final round of the season. And certainly, you know what? With it being the final round, I am expecting it to get extra spicy, if not in the second race, for sure, the final race, in fact. But right now, Leon Bentvel's in the crowd favorite doing everything he can. He's tried on the inside, he's tried on the outside, but he's going to have to find a way because not only that, he has new pressure, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Lockwood right behind him.
Yeah, here comes Brian, following Kane Halliburton very nicely through the field, and you know a double coach attack is not what I would wish on anyone in this field. It's going to be very difficult to deal with. Well, let's see what Lockwood can do to gear up the exit from the final corner. It's so important. Exits onto the longest straight on the circuit. Well, he certainly got the entry rotation down. I think that wasn't quite intentional. Caught a little bit of the grass on the way in, so he's ended up losing momentum, unfortunately.
Well, certainly, one thing I did notice is that the coaches don't seem to be wanting to work together. If anything, they want to basically stick it to each other, which is absolutely hilarious. But right now, we're watching the battle for P10. Is Zoltan Somotor versus Valdis Vansevicius. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. We'll say Valdis for the minute. I definitely think there may be it's an exotic name, I'll give you that. But certainly one a little bit too sophisticated for myself. As you see, it definitely a little bit of squeeze there, and thankfully not up the junction. That's a musical pun for anybody who got that one. I don't think anybody would have done. Old British band that maybe had one hit wonder, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly right now the battle is going on, and there's 2 red cars here in the mix and getting very aggressive there. There is an orange one further back, but not currently in the mix. God. Fernando Afonso, though, on the inside with a cosmetically challenged front bumper. He is definitely not afraid to put the nose in here at Summit Point.
Wow, that was massive. Kevin Adrian, the car that we're focusing on at the moment, he tried to take advantage there of the battle between Zomotor and Vansevicius, but, well, he ended up coming under attack from Afonso. That was a very brave move. Ultimately, couldn't make it work. There's battles everywhere you look in this field. Only car in the top 14 that's on his own is David Kent. It's still on for the lead. Andrew Moran sticking in the slipstream of Anthony Lanassa at every opportunity. And see that, he was squaring up the entry to the first corner. Trying to straighten it up on the exit, maybe get a bit of momentum and potentially fight him into the twisties.
Well, certainly, Summit Point, I would say it does have good opportunity to pass. Maybe turn 1 being the best place to get it done. But certainly here, this is where I'm expecting to see accidents. This next corner here, certainly, you carry so much speed through there, and you actually have to go on a little bit of a break. It's very very close. I thought there was going to be contact there, maybe a little bit of a love kiss, but as they're going around there right now, Lanasa able to make that BMW M2 as wide as I think it was the BMW M8, which generally got a little bit of a hard time for being a bit of a bloater, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly making that car as wide as the rear end of Shakira.
Indeed, those hips don't lie. Well, coming into the final corner, is there anything that Andrew Moran will be able to do here? Have a look at this static cam. You'll see just how much speed they carry through this corner and how much they push it to the exit all the way to the sand on the very exit of the corner. Ryan Lockwood dipping a couple of wheels in that sand there. Maybe making the grip out there a little bit less. For now, it looks like the lead battle is a bit static. This top four have been able to keep in touch with each other very nicely, but contrary to previous rounds of this series, I'm not seeing much in the way of big moves for the lead. There is a big move, though, for Leon Bentvels in there, falling behind Brian Lockwood.
Well, he has finally succumbed to the coach. Oh, God.
Oh, a little attempt there from Bentvels, and I just saw Kevin Adrian and Zoltan Zomotor have both towed back to the pits. There's been a big issue between those two, I think.
Yeah, it's fair to say something's happened. Let's have a quick look at the replay, courtesy of our director here, and
Oh, no.
All right,
okay, so that
one again.
they literally got sent to the Shadow Realm, it seems. Zomotora was a little bit offline coming through the final corner, and I think Adrian was trying to stake his claim to a side-by-side, but they just interlocked wheels briefly, and both were sent into the forest.
Well, definitely, I do believe we're having a Lord of the Rings trilogy at this point. Gandalf we've had for Shell Pass. Let's have another look here. That's going down the start-finish straight, and definitely not intentional. I think it may have just been like a little bit of netcode followed by yoink, I got you, and absolutely yeeted it off into the grass.
Yes, the problem with the surroundings of Summit Point there, if you have an issue on the start-finish straight and you get sent off the track, there's every chance that you're just going to fall out of the world once you get beyond those bounds. So something to keep in mind for everyone who may be looking to get into iRacing and find their way around Summit Point. For now, keep an eye on Mike Sargent here. Ryan Lockwood and Leon Bentvelsen still right behind him here. And noticing that Kane Halliburton has fallen all the way back to 14th as well. Something's gone wrong for our coach there. So now it is Ryan Lockwood, the top coach, and he's going to try around the outside of Sargent, but it doesn't work.
It was definitely an ambitious move, but you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just about making a pass and making it stick. It's also about unsettling your opponent. We saw that there with Andrew Moran absolutely flashing the high beams earlier, but we got a replay here. Let's find out exactly what happened to Kane Halliburton.
Right, so, it just spun up the rears. Traction control kicked in and the car just spun around. So, unfortunately for Kane, having to do the sheepish job of turning that car around, well, it's another opportunity for everyone in front of him to earn extra championship points for every lap they can keep him behind if he was within 0.3 of a second. Lockwood now finally up the inside of Bentvelsen there. Sargent is going to fall into the rear of this battle. This is a very entertaining fight indeed, and it looks like they're actually catching up to a bit of lap traffic. It's Zomotor and Kevin Adrian. They found their way back out onto the circuit after that unfortunate sending to the Shadow Realm.
Well, I do wonder if we're going to get a rematch there between Adrian and Zomotor, but that's damage, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like Leon Bentvelsen has just indeed actually given a little bit of a bite there on the back of Brian Lockwood's car, and Mike Sargent's gone, thank you very much, I'm going to capitalize on that, and he's not just happy with getting one, he's gone for a second, but he's really unsettled the car on that curb. Certainly I found that was a good way to absolutely bin it, for lack of better terms, but Mike Sargent definitely a much more skilled driver than myself, as is the majority of the field, I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen. These are doing well. They are becoming trained professionals, ladies and gentlemen. They're in the Almeida Academy, and certainly we've seen that level of driving. As you see the lap traffic pulling away, at least Zomotor pulling away. Kevin Adrian not quite in the range yet, as I think almost there you can maybe sticking a toe in the sand there, and you can see Zomotor falling back behind. Mike Sargent keen to get done, keen to get over, and Kevin Adrian very much holding on. Blue flags, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe, it is up to the faster car to find their way around, but in the Almeida Racing League, I think they may have superseded that rule.
Yeah, potentially. We shall see. as Lockwood comes up against the lapped car here of Kevin Adrian. A lot of dust being kicked up by Sargent and Bentvelsen behind as they try desperately to stay in touch with the number 7. But it looks like it might be coming to Norton. They'll have to settle for battling with each other. Adrian goes off there at the hairpin, and so that solves that problem for the trio.
Oh, yeah, that's certainly one way of doing it. I'm just trying to check in to see if we have an update on that blue flag rules. I felt sure I read something somewhere. I'm certainly just browsing through. It sounds like our director may know something, though. By all means, Rob. Okay, never mind.
I believe he was just alerting us to the fact that he was focusing on the leaders there, Zippy.
Oh, okay. Carry on, Reese. Carry on. I'm reading.
All right. Well, across the line, Anthony Lanassa, Team Red leading the way with 4.5 minutes to go. And I'm not seeing Andrew Moran finding what he needs to get past. Early on, he was pressuring Lanassa as the tyres came up to temperature, but now that they have that semblance of grip in them, it seems like Lanassa has managed to put himself into a great rhythm. He's absorbing that pressure like a sponge, which is great to see.
Oh, absolutely. And certainly, you know, we're a big SpongeBob fan here over at Pit Road Productions. At least I am anyway. But right now we are on board with Sammy Hendricks. Certainly, we've seen a lot of talent here, and he's managed to stay with this lead battle. His teammate dropped off a little bit there. I'd say no, a little bit. No, he's still very much in it. He's only 5 attempts, 6 attempts back. So very much a Team Blue could capitalize on this as we're getting in the last 4 minutes of this race. And certainly, you know, it's been pretty static at the top. Anthony Lanassa able to get the leap at the very start. But other than that, they've been very well behaved for the most part. Pretty stringent in position. But you have got to wonder now, getting in near the end of the race, are we going to start seeing a little bit more risk versus a little bit more reward?
This is the question. 3.5 minutes on the clock as we get a very good view of the forest there. In the slipstream of Anthony Lanassa is Andrew Moran. And across the line, actually looks like Moran was a 10th faster than Lanassa. So this could be the mounting of that charge that we're hoping we can see from Moran. Hendricks and Larkin are still right there, though, the Team Blue duo. And if anything happens between these two up the front, they'll be ready to pounce.
Oh, absolutely. I have seen that they did make some discussion about the blue flag rule, but I'm yet to find the rule. I'm pretty sure that they made it so it's a little bit more, you know, you got to kind of get out of the way a bit more. But right now we can see Fernando Alfonso. Now, he's definitely not been where I'd expect him to be today. Usually he's at the front of the pack. Certainly his front bumper's tried to get there on its own means. But right now he is chasing down Valdes Vesevius. Reese, help me out here.
Vansevicius.
That one. Valdes Vance. No. Carry on.
All right, just double V in 9th place. Well, Fernando Alfonso currently in 10th. That's going to give him pole position for race 2, mind. But it looks like Valdes has made a little mistake there. He's going to try and keep the position here. Oh, no, they come together. Oh, and that's hard into the barrier and hard into the other car there for Fernando Alfonso and Valdes Vansevicius, and looks like both of them with pretty crippling damage. Alfonso has no steering on his car.
Well, I've got to say, on the rejoin, it was definitely it was one of passion as he did a full 180 donut, and you saw one of the coaches there absolutely blitzing by him. Let's take a quick look at the replay. It was definitely it looked like it was a bit of a move. You see there, catches a bit of curb. Definitely not intentional. Alfonso gets launched, absolutely smashed for good measure as well. And but what gets me is the rejoin though. Whoop, 180.
Yeah, looks like a little bit too passionate there of a rejoin, and so they had to find their way through behind there. I believe that might have been Kane Halliburton in the gold car trying to make his way through. Well, we have a minute to go in this race, and that means with them coming up to the final corner here, this should be the start of the final lap we're about to see. Anthony Lanassa still holding on versus Andrew Moran. It seems like Hendricks and Larkin have fallen back.
Well, I do wonder if these guys can work together, as there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the white flag is waving, and you can see there these guys are certainly going to keep going at it. Don't get me wrong, Team Blue, I think, will be very happy with a 3rd and 4th position, but right now, you know what? You got to go for the win, and I think that's exactly what Andrew Moran's looking to try and do. Finally puts a nose up on the outside, dekes his opponent, and almost tries to do a little bit of an over-under there. The blue car of Sammy Hendricks, number 6 behind. Very much keeping an eye on what's happening. Potentially, are we going to see a move here from the number 6?
This could be the option for Sammy Hendricks, but it looks like Moran is the one more likely to make a move here. Right on the back of Lanassa, just tap the brakes here, coming down the hill and hard on the brakes into the hairpin, middle of the road for our race leader, making sure that Andrew Moran has to work to find his way past.
Well, I think if he's going to force a move, he is running out of time to do so. Certainly, if it comes down to a drag race to the start finish, I just don't think there's the real estate there to get it done. He's going to have to apply the pressure. He's going to have to turn up the heat. He's going to have to put his foot hard down on the gas. And you see there a little bit of a very tiny slide there from Lanassa. He's been good, though. He's been consistent. And right now, that gap, just 0.2 of a second, is Moran going to be able to get a better exit? It looked like he got through pretty quickly. It's going to be a drag race to the line. You see there, Team Blue, they're pretty happy. And incredibly close. That's going to be about 1/10 of a second in it. Another battle happening further back though, and right now it's going to be Mike Sargent, ladies and gentlemen. Leon Bedfelsen right behind him, incredibly close, not quite able to get it done. Intense racing here at Summit Point Raceway.
Oh yeah, very intense finish indeed, and looks like P10 will go to that orange car in the background there, Urs Mueller. Ivo Serafimov crossing the line ahead of him. Both of them got those positions thanks to the unfortunate contact between Valdas Vansavicius and Fernando Afonso. So big benefit for those guys as we find our way to our last couple of finishes, and that will be everyone run and done. It looks like last car to cross the line is going to be Valdas Vansavicius. So through the final corner he comes. Could have been a 10th spot for him. Could have been pole position for race 2. He's going to have to settle for a 13th place finish there. And that's going to bring race 1 to an end. Another exciting race here. We're only going to have one more to go after this. Quick run through the results then of our first race before we have a message from the Almeida Racing Academy. Anthony Lanassa winning the race ahead of Andrew Moran and Sammy Hendricks. Matt Larkin finishing 4th. Lockwood was able to make his way up to P5. Nice job there from the coach. Mike Sargent finishes where he started in 6th, with Leon Benfelsen finishing in 7th place after a very adventurous race. David Kent and Ivo Serafimov 8th and 9th. Pole position for race 2 will fall to Urs Mueller. Fantastic job there. Kane Aliburton comes home in 11th place ahead of Jan Janchik, who had big troubles on lap 1. Vansavicius, Zomotor, Afonso, your last finishes, basically a lap down. Abdul Rahman Mahmood was able to make it back out on the track, but Kevin Adrian, unfortunately, 6 laps from the end, not able to find his way to the finish. Hopefully everyone's going to have a better time in race 2. But before we go to that, a short message from the Almeida Racing Academy.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.
Fantastic to have the Almeida Racing Academy on board for this series here on Pit Road Productions. Of course, everyone competing in this series is either a student or a coach at the Almeida Racing Academy. You can join and get faster, learn from some of the iRacing pros, and improve your sim racing form. Well, coming out of that first race there, one thing that I am noting is it's hard to pass for the lead of the race. It's going to be quite difficult, Rob, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do here coming through into the second race here tonight.
Yeah, it should be. Galen, we just got Zippy on screen there, woofing down a little bit of a power snack. He used up so much of his energy there in that one race that he had to refuel. But I think it's pretty much carried out from all we've seen this season so much. We've seen a lot of battles up and down through the field. It doesn't really seem to matter who our coaches are battling with. The students are really taken to the not letting the coaching pass and trying to earn those extra points.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big haul of points that you can get from each individual race here tonight. And You know, it's going to be difficult to tell exactly how the championship battle will work out because the championship leader that we saw on our points graphic at the top of the show is actually not racing in top split. The points format, though, benefiting him versus the likes of our number one car, Andrew Moran. I'll be interested to see what Moran will be able to do to find his way back from 9th place. There's a lot of potential for big moves on the first lap, but as we've seen, rookie track, it is very bumpy, very narrow. Chaos can rule.
I'm a surfer.
definitely.
Wow.
We've
Oh,
seen that.
sorry, Rob,
Speaking
go
of
ahead.
chaos, we've got our resident chaos driver, Zippy, who could probably give us a real insight into some of the chaos we've seen out there.
Me? Well, certainly, it's definitely been a spicy race so far. But in terms of the Almeida Academy, actually quite controlled. You know, these guys are very well behaved, and honestly, I'm hoping that the gloves come off for the final round. You know what? Absolutely, it's your last chance this season to completely send it. Don't get me wrong, there is penalty points that do get awarded, and definitely not one that you want to be hitting high scores on. Certainly, I've took actual great pleasure in seeing my iRacing mentor, CR Reed. He's running in another split. He got penalty points, and I absolutely made my day. Definitely going to roast him for that for a while, but certainly I'm thinking we're going to see a bit more battling, and certainly now these guys have had one race here racing together. I've got a feeling that they're going to be a bit more familiar, a bit more comfortable, maybe try and push a little bit harder to try and get them past this time.
Yeah, it's the final race of the season, right? You know, you go absolutely to the wall. You have to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to make those moves. That's half the battle, really. But I'm really looking forward to seeing these final 20 minutes of the season come to their conclusion, Zippy. We'll check ourselves in again with the track temperature, 28 degrees Celsius, and that's right in the ballpark for some good tire warming. But the BMW M2 always takes a bit to warm those tires up.
Well, certainly, and it's definitely I really enjoyed driving it in practice with these guys. It's definitely a challenge, but it's certainly, you can't just get in it and go. It's not like if you're getting a GT3, you can get in one, get in another, and it's generally quite universal in some ways. You know, don't get me wrong, different cars will have different characteristics and personalities almost. You know, it's like if you got the blonde, the brunette, or the redhead, it's kind of a little bit like that. But with the M2, it's definitely it's in its own kind of weight class and a very unique car on the service. But it looks like we are getting ready for the grid here for the final race of the season.
Yes, indeed. Inverted top 10. So it's going to be Urs Mueller that starts on pole position for this one. Ivo Serafimov is going to join him on the front row. David Kent starting third. Big opportunity for points there. Leon Benvelsen's going to start in 4th. This is one of his best chances for victory yet this season. But got to keep an eye out for Mike Sargent, the man who is absolutely brilliant defender. He's got Sammy Hendricks and Matt Larkin right behind him. And Andrew Moran and Anthony Lanassa round out your top 10. Kane Halliburton and Jan Janchik will start 11th and 12th. With 13th, lucky 13th in the hands of Valdez Vancevicius, Zoltan Zomator and Fernando Afonso, 14th and 15th, and the last two cars being Abdul Rahman Mahmoud and Kevin Adrian. Now remember, Kevin Adrian started in 10th place for the first race tonight, and he ultimately did not come away with the result he wanted, so he'll want some redemption here. One final chance for points coming up.
Well, certainly, if it was to rain here at Summit Point, my money would very much be on Kevin Adrian. I've seen him in the rain, and that man is an absolute weapon. When it starts getting wet on the track, he's insane. Like, I've never seen anybody drive quite like him. Certainly, he is incredibly talented there. And, sadly, that's not the case for him on this occasion, as these guys are getting ready to go green. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Urs Muller at the start, Ivo Serafimov right alongside him, and David Kent there in 3rd. And ladies and gentlemen, green, and away they go. And you can already see there, Fernando Alfonso looking to change to the outside line. Surprisingly, nope, changed his mind. He's back on the inside, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe having a little bit of a wiggle there as they come down to turn 1. Everything looking good, everything looking clean so far. I heard a little bit of a whip.
Oh, that was a big slide there for Evo. Almost spun in front of the entire field there, but fortunately recovered it. The top 3 have broken away. Benvelsen going into 2nd spot. It has been an absolute lightning start for the number 23.
Oh, he's absolutely sending it. He's already up 2 positions right now. Actually, Valdez Vancevicius. Oh my god, it sounds like I've got a stutter. I'm now starring in open all hours, ladies and gentlemen, here. But again, another reference I don't think most of the field will get. I'm really showing my lack of age or, age choicing in viewing literature. But certainly, definitely, the one of the start he was looking for down 3 positions right now. Oh.
Jeez. All right, Mueller with a big slide there. Ben Pilsen got into the back of him, and that has compressed the entire front pack. Here comes Brian Lockwood in the gold machine. Could he go for second is the big question. Mueller is going to try and keep him alongside through the final corner, but straightens it up nicely. Does Brian Lockwood and goes to second. Leon Benfelsen leading the end of lap 1.
Oh, an absolutely cracking first lap for him. He's up 3 positions. Lockwood behind. He's up 4. Definitely exactly what you want to see. And you can see Kane Halliburton under a bit of pressure behind as well. Anthony Lanassa. And side by side they go through. That's Ivo Serafimov and Brian Lockwood fighting. Mike Sargent looking to slip it up the inside as well. Thinks better of it and defends the outside line, blocking Urs Muller in that orange machine. But certainly you can already see here 2 wide as they're heading around turn 3.
Oh, Mike Sargent almost thought about a move there on Ivo Serafimov. How was Evo into turn 1 there? So late on the brakes, taking full advantage of the anti-lock braking system this car has. But it's defensive from Brian Lockwood. Not going to find a way past there, Evo. You're going to have to focus on the white car in your mirrors. This is all allowing Leon Benfelsen to drive away.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking, Reese. He's already pulled out about a 1.3, almost a 1.4 second gap. And definitely, it's exactly what the crowd wants to see. They're going wild, ladies and gentlemen. That one, you've got an open container. You might want to put that down for the minute. But certainly, a lot of fun being having here at the Pit Road Productions as Urs Muller's dropped back. Now, we've seen him sliding a little bit here. I do wonder if maybe he has indeed found the limit of them tyres and then some, but able to keep it on the track. He's just dropped down pretty heavily, though, right now. 13 spots lost.
It was our race 1 winner, Anthony Lanassa, making a bit of contact with him coming through those corners. It looked like Mueller was just a bit low on speed, and ultimately Lanassa gets some damage from that. So does David Kent. They're just outside the top 8 here. Benfelsen still with over a second's lead over Brian Lockwood, but it's all on behind. We'll see if Sammy Hendricks will be able to find his way through on Serafimov next, but it's going to be tough. Meanwhile, have a look at not only how much on the limit Leon Benfelsen is, but how much Brian Lockwood just exceeded it.
Yeah, certainly he did have a 1.3 second lead, and that is, well, to be fair, you're going up against one of the coaches. You do expect them to kind of catch you at this point, but it's 1.3 seconds before. It's now down to about 0.4 per second, so unless Leon's having a particularly off lap, I don't see it. His last lap was 16.7 with Lockwood's being a 17.3, so something's happened for him. Because Lockwood has absolutely been pulling him in on this lap.
Yeah, it was pretty much a straight line exit out of the second turn, or is it the third turn? I honestly don't know with the corner numbering at this place. Regardless, gap now under half a second as they come out of the final corner, and already Benfelsen senses that it might be time to start driving defensively. You can see that Brian Lockwood is caning on him as it's 3 wide there. 2 of the green cars there. Andrew Moran and Ivo Serafimov right there with Sammy Hendricks on the inside, and they're going to keep it 3 wide through the first turn. Super wide there for the number 11 of Serafimov. Moran making contact with Hendricks on the way out of the corner, banging doors, banging wheels. This is racing, but it could become a crash very soon.
Well, Reese, I think you've called it. They've managed to hold on, but for how long? And I got to say, Kane Halliburton was very keen to make sure he had an exit route in that, but that was absolutely incredible. Exactly what I wanted to see. This is more reminiscent of British touring cars at this point, as they run it again, ladies and gentlemen. There will be no doors left on these cars at this point. As you see there, the number 6 car has gone a little bit deep. That's Sammy Hendricks, and he's able to rejoin, this time alongside... I've lost it. Zoltan Zomator.
Yeah, all the way down to 11th spot now. This has been a chaotic first few laps of this race, and we're only 5 minutes in. We got 3/4 of the race left to run, and the battle for the lead is starting to gear up here. Brian Lockwood now within 0.2 of Leon Benfelsen, coming down the start-finish straight, and Benfelsen is already trying to weave, trying to break the slipstream, but he has to leave the door open for Lockwood here. You're only allowed 1 move, I believe, in order to block the advance of someone else, and Lockwood goes straight through to the lead of the race. Well, now it's up to Benfelsen to see if he can battle with him and stay with him. Otherwise, Mike Sargent is there lurking in the background.
Well, I think so. We got a quick replay of this absolutely epic battle we just got to witness just a few short moments ago. Probably one of my favorite door banging moments of this, certainly of this race for sure. But you can see here, this is Andrew Moran. He's the Ohio driver himself, and he's at the back of this pack as it stands right now. We're going to see these guys start to get it a little bit juicy, for lack of better words. There we go, we're back. Let's go. So this is the view from Halliburton. You can see here a little bit of door banging there. You can see the battle 3 wide ahead of him. Absolutely intense. Halliburton, I think, very much intentionally. Look at the space. Well, given, not given. You see there, definitely a tense moment for Halliburton. Neither of these guys wanting to compromise. Wicked slide, able to hold on to it. And what I say, absolutely phenomenal racing. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So that's happened with the Evo Serafimov. He's just absolutely plummeted to the back of the field.
Yeah, looks like Matt Larkin got into the back of him coming out of the S's, and that resulted in a big concertina with yet more damage for Anthony Lanassa. So the number 11 there of Serafimov just getting going there on the replay. This is how it happened. So into the back of him, and then bam, Anthony Lanassa getting a little bit of airtime, as it were, and Serafimov stops at the side of the track, has to let everyone go before he can rejoin.
I think the best way I could phrase that, Reese, is one very familiar with the video gamers amongst us, and that is what you call a double tap.
Yeah, and it looks like it's been a triple tap, unfortunately, for Fernando Afonso, involved in a big 3-car battle. He just got turned around at the first corner.
Definitely not what Team Purple was looking for. A little underrepresented, I can't even say it. What is it with me? I don't think I'm having a stroke, but underrepresented today here in the top split at least. But right now, I think the biggest battle we've got going on is realistically from P5 quite a ways back, actually. P5 down to about P15. It all seems to be that these guys are generally pretty close, maybe a little bit of a separation at 13. Definitely a little bit of separation there. Let's try and take a peek at that if we can.
Yeah, the problem, of course, is, you know, the field's been, well, they are in tight packs, but they've been spread out relative to each other thanks to all the chaos that we've seen in these opening laps. That's Lanassa there in 6th place, battling with Sammy Hendricks. Both of these cars have had big issues in this race so far. Meanwhile, David Kent is trying to keep Zoltan Zomator and Matt Larkin right behind him. Remember, Larkin and Hendricks were fighting for the podium in the first race, so this is far from where they want to be.
Well, certainly not what they're looking for, indeed. But right now, David Kent, he's having a pretty good race. Certainly one of the drivers in top split that has been, we'll say, coached by the stewards here today. Stewards here at the Almeida Academy, and you know, we did see a couple of incidents in previous events, but so far having a very clean race as it stands, doing an absolutely fantastic drive. He's got Zoltan Zomator right behind him, and then Matt Larkin. My apologies, Matt Larkin right there as well. Abdul Mahmoud, he's lurking back at Team Green there in the number 15 car. Oh dear, Zomator's just gone around, able to catch it. What a wicked save there, but definitely not what he was looking for. And I got to wonder as well, Larkin, that's the second instant we've seen with a car go around in front of him.
Yeah, exactly, and exactly the same spot on the circuit as well. It seems like Larkin is driving well and carrying some great momentum out of the corner. Unfortunately, the drivers in front of him don't seem to be carrying that same momentum, and he ends up spinning them around. Well, let's see if Sammy Hendricks and Anthony Lanassa can work this battle through cleanly. Almost banging wheels on the exit of the corner there, but Hendricks up the inside of Lanassa here at one of the quickest corners on the circuit. I get the feeling Anthony might have to yield here, and he does.
Well, he yields for that part, but for how long? And I do have to say, sheer testament to the M2 race car that we've had here today. These things will take a beating, and for me, that's now a new criteria in any racing series I'm going to compete in, especially with my driving talent, or therefore lack of. Obviously, I need to get on the motor racing checklist, or indeed the Almeida Academy as well. Lots of different perks and benefits in doing that. Certainly, this being one of them, ladies and gentlemen. And I was going to say 4 splits as well. Absolutely incredible to have 4 splits in any league. But right now, we're going to focus back on the battle for P2, ladies and gentlemen. It's the crowd favorite, Leon Benfelsen, with Mike Sargent from Beaverblock hot in pursuit.
Yes, and Brian Lockwood up ahead is no stranger to dipping a wheel off. So if Lockwood overcooks it, makes a little mistake, this could turn into the battle for the lead. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Regardless, Leon doing a good job of keeping ahead of Mike Sargent there. You see Kane Halliburton and Andrew Moran catching up to them. Halliburton was the fastest car on track last time by. He was 2/10 faster than our leaders and 3/10 faster than Mike Sargent. So this could become a 4-way battle for the lead, maybe a 5-way fight if Andrew Moran can keep up.
Oh, certainly, and definitely it'll be interesting to see as well a little bit of coach on a coach action. I mean, there's still 9 minutes left to go. I don't know if he's going to be able to close the gap, but I certainly want to see if he can try. But I think we've got a battle happening right now. Oh dear. I have a feeling someone's maybe just happened to the number 15 car of Abdul Mahmoud. He's just dropped down another couple of spots there. He was getting in a close battle. Maybe get a replay of that, maybe an off track, but he was certainly going at it for P10 with Zoltan Zomator.
Yeah, looks like they came together at the first left-hander of the racetrack. Just a ever so slight tap here on the replay. I believe. Oh, okay. So that's a little bit of an off there for him, but that's not the incident. They were side by side through that very same corner, and Zomator was on the inside, just giving him a slight little tap. Here it is. So the orange car at the inside, that's Zomator. And into the corner they come, just ever so slight tap. Yeah, I think the netcode gods were frowning upon that one.
Well, I've got to say, on the upside, he was able to keep the car going and keep it going clean, ladies and gentlemen, so that's good news there. But right now, we are keeping an eye on Brian Lockwood. He's getting a little bit of screen time today. Certainly, he's out there ahead, and it looks like the battle actually for P2 is starting to spice up a little bit more. Leon Benfelsen holding off Mike Sargent in the 0888 car by about 4-5 tenths of a second right now. Kane Halliburton closing that gap. It's currently about 1.6 seconds, 1.5 seconds. Is he going to be able to catch up to him before the end of the race?
This is the question. I think that Halliburton certainly started to leave Moran in the dust, and he's doing a good job of keeping up with these guys again. I mean, I've just looked at the lap times for Benfelsen and Sargent, 116.6s. It's still a 116.2 for Kane Halliburton. Meanwhile, Matt Larkin versus David Kent. Larkin's trying to break into the top 8 here. Got Sammy Hendricks and Anthony Lanassa just up ahead of them, side by side coming into the final corner. The momentum is with Larkin once again. Seems like he is nailing the exit from that section of the circuit every time. This time he was able to make it work.
I do wonder as well if David Kent maybe picked up on the pattern that we've seen here today and just absolutely bailed out. Certainly, I don't think it's intentional. Maybe just a little bit too close racing there. But right now, we can see Team Blue, Team Red, Team Blue, Team Yellow, ladies and gentlemen, as I believe that might be Sammy Hendricks. But right now, we've got Zoltan Zomator, and I believe it's going at it with Yan Cheek, ladies and gentlemen. So it'd be good to see Yan have a good clean race, a bit of side-by-side action as he's trying to make a move on the outside of Zomator. Looks like he's got it done. And yep, nice clean pass there heading into turn 1.
Yeah, indeed. Nice clean pass indeed. Well, back through to our second place battle. Mike Sargent has gained again here on Leon Benfelsen, and Kane Halliburton is right with them here. Interesting to note because on the previous lap, Benfelsen did a 116.7, Mike Sargent did a 116.8. Guess what? Halliburton did a 116.1. He is on an absolute flyer here.
Yeah, he's already managed to close that gap. It was 1.5 seconds. He's now got it down to about 7 tenths of a second. So indeed, Halliburton is going to get in the mix. Moran's been left behind at this point. And I do have to see if we're going to have a fight for the lead between the two coaches. Will they potentially take each other out? Certainly, when you get two professionals going at it, I do find it gets extra spicy and can make for some great entertainment.
Yeah, indeed. Awesome entertainment to be happening here in the final 5 minutes of the season, which we are about to enter. It's been a great season of the Almeida Racing League, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of it here. The racing has been fantastic all the way through. The action has been spicy, exactly how I like it. And it being 1 in the morning for me here in Australia, I started to think about making a coffee for this, but who needs caffeine when you got this action?
Well, certainly, if you're not going to make yourself a coffee, by all means, feel free to make me one. At this point, the pills are already doing a number on me, so I might as well have a coffee just to really enjoy it. But right now, you can see here, we've got a three-way battle going on. Mike Sargent in the middle of that, Leon Benfelsen at the front, and Kane Halliburton. Well, he's already familiar with Mike Sargent, and I got to say, I don't think he's going to be able to get past this as quite as keenly as he'd like. This could be the stopper here between himself and Brian Lockwood.
Yeah, certainly could. I think a coach 1-2 might be off the cards here unless something drastic happens, but it's a great exit from the final corner there for Halliburton. Both Bentvelsen and Sargent go defensive, and now Kane is boxed in. He probably won't be able to find his way past Bentvelsen at least, but have a look at Sargent round the outside of Leon Bentvelsen. He goes a bit deep, and Halliburton tries to thread the needle. Perfect car placement from all three of our drivers there. Halliburton, for now, is ahead of Mike Sargent.
Well, I gotta say, you praise the guy for being a defensive absolute machine, and then, you know, he gets by as soon as he gets the first chance. Come on, Mike, we expected more from you, but right now, Halliburton is not satisfied with having just one academy driver. He's looking for more meat, and this time it is Leon Bentvelsen, as Mike Sargent's looking to stick it there up on the inside. He's going to be on the outside for this next part. I don't know if that's going to work in his favor. Certainly, he's trying to put a nose in. Halliburton very much, you know, has he got the means to attack, or has he got defenders? He's really just caught a lot of that curve there. Definitely unsettled the car, but able to keep it very much under control.
Yeah, looks like Mike Sargent was able to get a slightly better exit from the middle phase of those S's, but here we go through the final corner. This is where Halliburton's really been gearing up the moves. There's Bentvelsen going wide. I think that's going to do half the job for Kane Halliburton right there. All he's got to do is put the power down and keep the wheels straight, and he'll be through. But look at the double slipstream that Mike Sargent is picking up. Won't be able to find his way through. Might he bump draft the coach past? Looks like he will just as they get on the brakes. So close. All three cars sharing the same piece of racetrack. This is fantastic racing.
Well, he was definitely boxing at that point. Leon Bentvelsen very intentionally positioned that car, and it is absolutely my kind of move. Certainly what I would do is almost, I think that was going to rub doors a little bit there. That corner is not great for going too wide. Is Mike Sargent able to hold on, but look who's now emerged in the battle, ladies and gentlemen. The number one car of Andrew Moran. He's had great success here at the Almeida Academy, but can he capitalize on this battle? He's currently in P5. You can see P3, P2 in the distance. Is this his chance to get on the podium?
Yeah, this could be the chance. I'm looking forward to seeing how this battle concludes. Brian Lockwood setting a 116.6 in front of these guys, but it looks like the gap is staying pretty consistent. Gently does it as the 1-2 is here for the moment for our coaches. 2 minutes to go. Lockwood's just cruising out there at the moment. Have a look at Andrew Moran as he catches up here on the straight. He's in the slipstream of Mike Sargent. Keep an eye on lap times here. Setting 117.5s on the last lap. Andrew Moran was able to get a 116.6. Took nearly a second out. In fact, over a second out of these two cars battling in front of him. And he's going to be right amongst it now.
Well, it looks like Halliburton has got his wish. He's going to get to try and chase down Brian Lockwood, but right now we're going to focus on the Academy driver battle, and that is between Bentvelsen, Sargent, and indeed Andrew Moran as well. Certainly pretty aggressive there from Bentvelsen, the crowd favorite, and Sargent expressing a little bit of frustration perhaps, or more of a flipping the bird as it were, but certainly he's keen and he's going to want to get that position back. He wants to be on the podium, but he can't just go for it. He's got Andrew Moran right behind him.
This is always tough, isn't it? Being the middle car in a three-way battle. You want to try and pass the car in front of you, but you'll leave yourself open to an attack from Andrew Moran if you do that. And Moran has been the top driver in this top split many a race for a very good reason. He knows exactly how to negotiate a battle, and once he gets in front, it's almost impossible to find your way back past him. Well, for now, final lap begins for our competitors. The white flag is out. Barney do be waving. And here comes Andrew Moran. Oh, he's being forced to pick a side here by Mike Sargent. It's the outside that he goes for. Bentvelsen nearly backing Mike Sargent into Andrew Moran. This battle's going to go all the way around the final lap.
Oh, absolutely, and certainly a good bit of race car positioning there. You can see there, it looks like Moran's going to try and send it on a little bit of an over-under, perhaps, as they go up through this left-hander. A little bit of a slide there. I do have to wonder as well, how close are these guys getting on instant point? Certainly, we've seen a lot of wheels dipped, as it looks like Moran's going to try and go side by side as they head down the hill. Left-hander, this is going to be a very close part of the circuit. Don't get me wrong, you can go too wide through here, but you've got to be able to get close enough to get the nose in. And certainly, Kane Halliburton, he's pulled away 1.6 seconds on these guys. He's out of it at this point, but right now, it is the battle between, well, between third, fourth, and fifth, as Brian Lockwood's going to be getting ready to cross the line for the race win very shortly.
Yeah, certainly is. Oh, that's way off there for Andrew Moran. I don't think he'll be able to find his way past Sargent there, but into and out of the final corner here for Brian Lockwood and Kane Halliburton. It is a coach 1-2 in the final race of the season for the Almeida Racing League. Leon Benfelsen gets onto the podium. I'm sure the fan club will be very happy about that one in the chat. Sargent and Moran battling all the way to the end. Sammy Hendricks going to beat Anthony Lanazza to the line there for 6th place, and Matt Larkin comes home in 8th. The end of the road for Vansavicius, Yanchik, and Abdul Rahman Mahmood. David Kent getting into the top 10 there, and whoa!
There we go.
All right. Yep. The celebrations have already begun, or was that a celebration?
Well, I've got to say, I'm actually a little bit disappointed that the iRacing's actually flagging it out of bounds a little bit sooner. Maybe you got to pick a different bit. At least Fernando's car exploded, you know? Like, that's absolutely fantastic. Urs Muller there doing a little bit of a procession there, but let's maybe see if we're getting are we getting a little bit of a coach photo shoot going on for the lead? I do wonder. It'd be... Yeah. Oh, bonk.
Yeah.
I think maybe a little bit of horseplay instead. There we go. I think they got the memo. A little bit of a photo opportunity, sponsored by Kodak, ladies and gentlemen, who has understandably gone bust. But there you go. They didn't move with the times. But right now, oh, there it is. The
there we
front
go.
bumper lives on.
It does, but it took until the very end of the race, in fact, post-race, for us to get it. Well, it looks like that's going to be the end of the day, the end of the season, Zippy. And your final race results being Lockwood and Halliburton 1-2 for the coaches. Benfelsen rounds out the podium with Sargent and Moran rounding out the top 5. Hendricks was able to fight up 2 positions. Anthony Lanassa up 3. Matt Larkin finishes up the back end of the top 10, as does David Kent, losing 6 spots, unfortunately. It was a very tough time for him. Vansavicius will round out that top 10 with Yanchik and Mahmood finishing 11th and 12th. Zomotor, Adrian, Serafimov, Afonso, and Mueller will be your 17 cars completing this final race of the Almeida Racing League for this season.
Well, it does look like we've actually managed to get... he's very keen. Look at that. Oh, no, that's our director moving everybody around. He's so organized. I've got to give him more credit where I do. I'm not used to somebody else driving, I guess. I'm in the passenger seat. And it feels very different. But right now, I think the first person we're going to get to is actually one of the coaches here. It's Brian Lockwood. I'm going to drag him in. There we go. Brian, I've got to say, what an absolutely phenomenal race for you. Certainly good to see you here in the interview booth. I tried to steal you during the warm-up, but tell us a little bit about the technique here used for Summit Point Raceway.
Technique? Well, it's the same technique as always. We drive at the limit. We pick our apexes. We pick our braking points. These guys know what's up. Definitely, it's a track that really challenges our throttle control, but for the most part, it's just an application of the same stuff in a different environment. It's fantastic.
Well, certainly, I did think there was going to be a little bit more potential incidents here, but certainly, it's been proven very hard to pass. So, Brian, I understand you'll be doing the post-race review. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? We haven't really got to focus about it much on stream.
Sure. And I think Kane's in the interview landing area. He's going to be part of the stewards review too. But basically, all we're going to do, we're going to get on my Twitch stream and we're going to stream the stewarding process. We're going to take a look at every incident that's protested. We're going to go through them, explain our rationale, and yeah, just show the process, show everybody exactly how we're doing these the penalties, and answer some questions afterward if there are good questions. But for the most part, it's just letting you guys in on the process.
Oh, absolutely. And certainly, one of the best ways to get faster is indeed to review your results and review any incidents. But I got to say, we got Kane here in the booth as well. So, Kane, tell us a little bit, just how badly did you want to beat Brian in today's race?
I told him I'd let him have this win this time.
I didn't hear that, for the record. I didn't hear that. So if it was said, I mean...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can see here definitely a little bit of friendly rivalry, and definitely I'd want to see more of that again. But that is your P1 and P2 winners here today, and certainly some of the coaches here at the Almeida Academy. And either one of you, let me know which one of you wants to answer this one. But what would be your your best advice to any new students coming through to the Almeida Academy?
Ken, what do you think?
I'll let Brian take this one.
All right.
I knew that was going to happen.
Just get involved. We're continually building programs and improving our programs to help every member of the academy improve. And I think we can see that. We're doing workshops, we're doing pit parties, we're doing we have the weekly challenges and the league races. We have we're building more and more opportunities for you to not only learn new skills, but test them out and practice them. Really, I mean, if you're new, the best thing you can do is just get involved in the stuff we're doing in the events that we put on. I think we can see, and I also want to give a huge shout out to all the members at the league. The difference in driving and the amount of development we've seen in the last 6 weeks is nothing short of phenomenal. And that's because these guys are showing up to workshops, they're practicing, they're really putting in the effort that it takes to improve. And I mean, we can see it. The league looks so different in race 6 than it did in race 1. And I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to each and every member who's running the league. I mean, it's been really, really brilliant to see.
Well, I got to say, I'm going to absolutely agree with that. Certainly, while these guys are coaches, and they're coaches for hire at that as well, if you want a little bit more of a personal touch with your driving, that is, ladies and gentlemen, then you can contact both Brian, Kane Halibut, and also as well Connor Bell, one of the organizers. But we are going to let you guys go for now. Certainly very talented drivers. Maybe we need to get you in the interview booth a bit more. Certainly the words are not as fluent as your application of the gas pedal. But thank you very much for your involvement here in the Almeida Academy, and we're looking forward to seeing you for next season.
I don't think I've ever been ripped that hard into by an interviewer. Brutal. All right. Well, have a great day, guys.
Yeah.
You are most welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Lockwood and Kane Halliburton. But Reese, I understand you've been able to... Whoop, nearly kicked Reese out of the booth by accident there. Reese, who have you been able to catch up with?
Well, it looks like Leon Bentvelsen is awaiting a chat with us, getting a podium in the final race of the season, Leon. It was a pretty good final round for you. You were fighting in the back end of the top 10 in race 1, but taking great advantage of that start in race 2.
Yeah, it was a nice start, wasn't it? Wait, I really have to chill out a bit. I'm sweating carrots. What a race.
I bet you're sweating. That battle at the very end there with Mike and Andrew, Kane getting to be a part of it as well. Summit Point, obviously a track that is familiar to any iRacer. It's one of the first road tracks we all race on when we join. Did you approach it any differently now to when you did when you first joined iRacing?
Yeah, I'm used to driving with the MX-5. So I really had to relearn everything again, just to get some proper lap times in. So yeah, it's a tough one, especially on cold tires. A lot of direction changes, makes you understeer, oversteer pretty easily. So yeah, it was real fun. Great last race, great battle with Mike. So it was fun.
It was certainly fun to watch for us up here in the commentary booth. Well, with this first season that we're broadcasting, at least, over and done with, are your thoughts turning to a future season of the Almeida Racing League to further improve your skills?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I'm available, I would like to jump in with these guys.
That would be awesome for us to see. And, well, whatever color you represent next season, Leon, we certainly look forward to seeing you back out there. Congratulations on the podium.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Leon Bentvelsen there. And, man, what a drive it was in the final round of the season. Looks like you've caught up, meanwhile, with Mike Sargent, Zippy.
Well, I got to say, Mike is certainly a name who I am familiar with. He is the leader of the Beaver Block Racing team, and I got to say, he definitely gets my my personal favorite here as the most stick it to the coaches driver. We're looking for a new title for that, so by all means, if you've got suggestions, put them in the chat. I've got a feeling you guys are going to have fun with that. But Mike, I've got to say, what an incredible season for yourselves. Certainly not able to get onto the podium quite as much as you like, but definitely scoring high in them bonus points here. Absolutely fighting against the judges. I think we saw that predominantly at Charlotte as well. But Mike, tell us a little bit about your season review, or indeed Summit Point Raceway today.
Thanks, Hippie. And you guys have done a fantastic job this year. Yeah, this season's been a lot of fun. Today was fantastic. The racing was phenomenal. I haven't been side by side with that much confidence in my opponents in quite a while. It was a lot of fun. Race 2, I just kind of made sure once we separated from the field, I didn't want to let the field catch back up, so I was trying to wait to the end to really attack. And then luckily could keep Andrew behind. Leon's pace was just too good for me today. But yeah, it was a good result overall.
Well, definitely provided a lot of great entertainment there, Mike. But Mike, tell us a little bit about, doing the course and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about like your first-hand experience and what you've really, what really the Academy has done for you.
Yeah, the weekly workshops have been absolutely fantastic. Brian's done a phenomenal job with those. I know he's been putting in a ton of effort, and it's greatly appreciated. And honestly, there's nuggets in there from anybody from just somebody starting out on iRacing to somebody that's 9K. There's absolute gold everywhere to be found. The practice sessions are fantastic, and of course, Connor and the pit parties are good fun as well.
Oh, absolutely. And certainly, if you're thinking about maybe taking the plunge, I would strongly suggest it. I mean, we're not paying these guys to say this. Certainly, I mean, we do the broadcast for them, but certainly the drivers here in the Academy, these are people who've done they've experienced the product, they've experienced the community, and they've generally, I've seen everybody's having very much a good time, and they are getting faster as well. Certainly, don't shoot me in the foot for this, Mike, but I'd say we used to be pretty comparable on pace for a little while when I was maybe in my peak. And now, honestly, I wouldn't even hold a candle to you. So obviously, it's working. Like, you definitely had incredible dominance here. But I do understand there's going to be another season coming. I'm going to say that much and that much alone on that. But tell us a little bit, is that going to be something that you're going to be interested in? And if so, do you think you can maybe bring a few more guys from Beaver Block to come and join us?
I'm definitely trying to get the guys over. You'll definitely see me in round 2 or season 3 as well. And as far as us being on comparable pace, I can say even before the Academy started, we were in a league together, and I had taken Swelio's motor racing checklist course, and the following season I won the league. That was the Super Formula League. So yeah, I can confirm like the product here is absolutely amazing. And as far as getting more of the boys in, it's always the goal, right? Just grow a community.
Well, absolutely. And I got to say a huge thank you to for yourself and also all the people involved at the Almeida Academy for making that happen. But Mike, we're going to let you go. Before we do, any last people you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my family at home watching. It's awesome. I want to thank the coaches, Brian, Connor, Swelio, Kane. It's been an absolute awesome season. I want to thank my competitors. We've had some phenomenal racing. And of course, I want to thank my boys at Beaver Block, because without them, it's not the same.
Well, that's fair. Certainly, you're going to have to give that big bear, Alex, a little bit of a poke from me. Certainly, give Neil a little bit of stick as well. But Mike, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much, and congratulations today on a P4. Narrowly missing the podium, but certainly been an absolute beast to fight with the coaches.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed Mike Sargent. And I understand you've been able to catch up with this gentleman here, Reese, Andrew Moran.
Yes, indeed, Andrew with us here. Well, Andrew, pole position for you. Ultimately, the second place was the way to go in race 1, and battling hard throughout the rest of the top 10 in race 2. Very interesting way to finish what has been a very strong season for you.
Yeah, provisionally the split champion, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. The second race, unfortunately, I had like super minor damage on the bumper, and it cost at least 2/10 a lap. It was pretty rough, but so I couldn't really catch up by myself, and just couldn't make the pass at the end. But yeah, it was a fun season, and there was no real point in me trying to push for that win other than the last lap on race 1, just with potential of crashing out, just how many more points that losses. Just had to play for the point standings and that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys doing the streams. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no worries at all, Andrew. Our pleasure, and big congratulations on, as you say, provisionally being the split champion, and also, I believe, second overall coming into this round. With these results, you should be able to hold on to that as well. So, a very successful season all up. Are you looking forward to next season?
Yeah, if I hear right, it's Formula. We're gonna do Formula Fords, 1600, and that is, I mean, that's my wheelhouse. So, yeah, super excited.
Oh, excellent stuff. That's a little bit of a scoop there for everybody. Changing from sports cars to open wheelers for the next season of the Almeida Racing League. We'll have to wait and see how that one turns out potentially. But for now, Andrew, thanks very much for joining us, and hopefully we catch you next time.
You will. Thanks.
Brilliant stuff from Andrew Moran there, Zippy. And I understand that we only have a couple more drivers left to go, and it looks like we're being joined by Matt Larkin and Sammy Hendricks.
Well, we did have Leon as well. Basically, this is a little bit of a Team Blue meeting almost. And I got to say, these guys, thank you very much for putting on that practice session the other day where I got to come out and experience firsthand just how much I suck and need to get on the Almeida Academy, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly could not hold a candle to these guys. But Sammy, we know that yourself, Matt, and Leon have indeed been training for this. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have been doing for preparation.
Well, we hosted a session, make it public to everyone. Step on the gas, go in circles, and hopefully we get a little bit faster. That's it. Nothing much to it.
Definitely one way of doing it. Matt, maybe you can expand on that a little bit, sir?
Yeah, so, I mean, with the workshop early in the week, normally we get together before, like on the Sunday before the week starts and do like a hosted session to get some practice initially in that car at the track that we're going to drive the next week. And we kind of want to figure out, like, where our base pace is also before we get into the week with all the, seeing Kane's, guide and the workshops and all that stuff, and then kind of see what we can do as the week progresses and how much faster we can go from there. So and it's just getting together with everybody, including the other teams, and running many laps as we can and doing as many side-by-sides as we can to get us really ready to race.
Well, certainly going into this round, it did look like you guys were rocking P3, P4, and I did wonder if there was maybe going to be a bit of team tactic. But here's a good point that it's often overlooked actually in a lot of series and stuff like that. But obviously with the Almeida Academy having such a team focus, I'm going to make an assumption here that you guys met in the academy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, ever since day one, Blue Team has been active. We've been partying. Just a lot of camaraderie, and we got good vibes in Blue Team. We've just been kicking ass all season and showing up to races and supporting each other. I can't say much for the other teams, but really great experience. I'm thankful for the experience the Almeida Academy put on for us.
Matt, yourself as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely all met here. We're kind of spread all over the globe, and it's been really good. We're all kind of focused on helping each other and working together and boosting each other to make sure that we're all participating to help the team as a whole. So it's a really good learning environment for everybody. So it's really helpful.
Well, I got to say, so ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about, getting involved in the academy, you can't just, you will get, obviously, you improve your driver skills, you get the materials, you get the workshops now, but you also may make a new few friends as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see that. Certainly, as well, as you continue with iRacing, all of a sudden, if you've got a bunch of buddies, then maybe endurance racing opens up to you as well. I mean, you've got a bunch of guys who you can race with. The camaraderie's there, so more opportunities on the horizon. Maybe you have an Almeida Academy endurance team, maybe they start to appear as well. Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. But guys, we are going to let you go. Before we do, Matt, anybody you'd like to thank?
Definitely everybody at the academy, everybody on the Blue Team, and even everybody in ARA in general, because we're all essentially Team ARA, right? So it's just been really, really good learning with everybody and getting all the help You know, it's definitely elevated. I've probably gained over 500 iRating just in the 6 weeks. So, and the racecraft skills has been amazing. So, just Swellio and all the coaches and everybody. Just want to thank everybody for helping.
Oh, absolutely fantastic stuff there, Sammy. Final call for you as well, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys. Quite honestly, I've been doing quite a bit of endurance racing the last 2 years, and you guys have by far the best broadcast. And I never even heard of you guys. So keep rocking, keep climbing the ladder, and keep making yourselves known, because you guys are definitely the best. Yeah, thank my wife Alyssa, my dog Cody. That's about it. Love the team. Almeida Academy coaches. Big shout out to the coaches. Helped me improve a lot. And that's it.
And Sammy, who should I make the check out to? Yourself, your wife, or the dog?
The dog. He takes all my
Okay.
money.
Okay, just wanted to check that. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure having a couple of representatives. I can't even say it again. What is it with me? Reese?
Representing.
Close enough. Representatives. That one. Couple of representatives here from Team Blue. Guys, it's been a pleasure, but we are going to boot you out the booth for now. Thank you very much for coming in. And yeah, we should probably start getting this show wrapped down for the day. Honestly, it's been an absolute belter. I've really enjoyed, the confidence that you guys have given us here at Pit Road Productions. Connor Bell, absolutely massive shout out to you, sir. Guys doing the graphics as well, the teams and the points graphics, phenomenal work. I don't know how you do it. It's pure magic. Loving what you're doing. Obviously, huge shout out to Swellio as well and the coaches. And the biggest shout out, though, not just to my team here at Pit Road Productions, but it goes to you guys racing on the track, you people in the chat as well. Honestly, from the production side, from from the show side, having you guys so active in the chat is just beautiful for us. It gives us more people we can interact with and really, feed off and bounce off and stuff like that. And I've really enjoyed it, and I'd like to thank you all very much for that. Reese, any last words, sir?
Bring on next season. It was a pleasure for me to be a part of this season of the Almeida Racing League, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next. It's always awesome to see drivers put to the test what they've learned thanks to this academy.
Absolutely, and certainly, maybe I'll end up getting the drive next season. We'll see. I'll be the stunt dummy, I guess. And Rob, while we've still got you here in the booth, make sure your mic's not muted. Any thoughts from yourself here on as we bring this season to an end? Well, that's definitely a very valid point. You can see here in Pit Road Productions, we are very supportive of our co-workers, both in success and in failure. We take it with a grain of sand, ladies and gentlemen. But I got to say a huge thank you from me, from Reese, from Rob. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to be back here on Monday night for WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League there, and it's going to be an absolute belter. Again, we're going to be back with the BMW M2, albeit in a different set of circumstances. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Pit Road Productions.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.
And I'm going to roast your ass for it.
Well, it's my genuine opinion.
Oh, no, you've got the wrong fucking ending. You just skip over it. Skip over it. Next. It's fine. Just skip over it. Just end it.